So is $100 per XRP too bullish of a price prediction? In this video, I'm going to share my honest Ripple XRP price prediction for 2023, 2024, 2025, and even by 2030, what I expect. So comment 777 if you're feeling blessed, if you're feeling bullish, and if you're going to become the first millionaire in your family tree, you know what to do. Confirm it by taking that like button and just tap it in. Just give it a tippity taparoo, sink the putt. Do it for grandma. You're going to beat the SEC, and you're buying grandma's house back with XRP. Let's run it. All right, bull runners, welcome back to the channel. So if you wake up every single day thinking about XRP, will it make you an overnight millionaire? Because some video, had in the title, in the thumbnail, you've watched videos on this channel, you've watched videos on other channels. Here's 5 simple ways to look at this with a mindset that will help you stay grounded, that will help you eliminate anxiety, that will help you prepare for what's coming. This has helped me during the last market cycle of 2017, 2018's bull run, during that crash. And I've been in crypto since 2016. So what I want to pass on to you in this video will help you prepare for this up and coming bull run. So number 1, wishful thinking. A lot of wishful thinkers out there based on these price predictions. It's not healthy for trading. Because what happens is you end up holding some projects longer than you should, well beyond the euphoria phase. You end up holding the bag for too long because somebody on Twitter posted diamond hands meme and saying, I'm diamond hands in this forever. I'm sitting on this forever. I don't care what anyone says. And that is stupid. What's this is referred to is a sunk cost fallacy is what it's called. So it's a cognitive bias that occurs when you continue to invest time, money, resources into a decision or project based on the cumulative resources, which are the sunk costs you've already spent. So to put this in example for you, if you were married for 50 years and then you see a couple that's together for 2 days, well, what is the, cognitive bias in terms of memories, relationships, time invested, money, resources, and everything into a 50-year marriage versus 2 days? It's obviously a lot longer. So the cognitive bias gets stronger the longer that you are with someone, the longer that you hold a project, the longer that you work on something. For example, your home. How much time have you spent investing in your home, in decorating your home, and putting all these little trinkets and items in your home and on the shelves and on the TV stand and in your bedroom? And when it comes to moving your home, you're a lot more emotionally invested because you've sunk so much into the cost of your home, from time, from money, and from energy. So this sunk cost, in other words, let's say that you bought XRP back in 2017 at $1 on the way up, and then you watched it go to $3, and you're sitting high on life. You're like, I'm at a 3x right now. You bought it at $1, it's at $3, and you're seeing the candles green, right? Your portfolio's at 3x. Well, then you put more money in at the top based on fear of missing out, or FOMO as the crypto degens like to call it, okay? And then you only watch XRP drop down to 14 cents, and you hold your bag the entire time, all the way to the pandemic. You didn't sell anything. Let's say that was you, because of the sunk cost fallacy. Now, most people, they bought on the way up, 2017 leading into 2018. Then when the market started dropping, they held all the way down. And then guess what happened? Most people sold at the bottom. When COVID hit, people were freaking out. Like, XRP's done, it's over. Crypto's dead. That's what everyone was saying. That's what all the media companies were saying. Crypto's dead. Like a phoenix spawning from the ashes. Then came Donald Trump signing the CARES Act into law. $2.2 trillion. I believe it was actually 2.4, something like that. And so whether, political or not, we're not going to get into that right now. I'm just talking about facts here, and I'm going to provide data for you guys. But that pumped the markets. We saw a good time. The markets rallied back again, and those people that sold the bottom were left doing the exact same thing for 2021, chasing the top. So, because they thought that it was going to keep rallying up and keep rallying up. And so back to a $3 price. Now, what happened in 2021? Well, XRP's price was cut short from the lawsuit. The rally that took place post-lawsuit was because of overseas markets. The Asia market, the Middle East market, over in Dubai, over in China, over in Japan. Exchanges that could trade XRP, because the United States exchanges like Coinbase delisted XRP, but XRP didn't make it to the all-time high. So the people that were getting greedy, thinking that it was going to go to $3, were still left holding the bag. So what happens here? How do you not become like most people? How can you maximize your results without worrying about the best price to buy at, or how long it's going to take to become a millionaire and how long you need to hold before you sell. And also, what's my accurate XRP price prediction for this year? So I'll get into that in a little bit, but first, it's important to have realistic expectations, because understanding that cryptocurrencies, especially XRP, and XRP was the most volatile during 2017, it had the craziest gains. Then you see other projects out there for this last bull run. Crypto's volatile. They're speculative investments. So this is pure speculation here. It's not financial advice, right? Realistic expectations, what they do in this space, a lot of people in the personal development space or the business space say, dream big, have wishful thinking, and that can help you in manifestation in terms of business, because that's on things you can control. But in the crypto space, what you can't control is price action. You can't control that unless you're a Goliath mega whale, that's moving billions of dollars in the market at one time, or, you're part of the elite roundtables and you know when they're going to buy that. But what realistic expectations for you as a retail trader, if you have less than $1 billion to invest right now, is it reduces anxiety. And this is important, because anxiety is the reason why people panic and they make bad decisions when they buy and sell, because you can't control what happens with the price. That's controlled by the whales. So in order to become a whale, you have to think how the whales think. So number two, if you find yourself constantly worrying about the XRP price, it may be a sign that you've invested more than you can afford to lose. So what you might want to consider, again, this is what I consider for myself, I'm just speaking out loud here, but diversifying my investment portfolio, right? Spreading risk across different assets. This helps you feel less anxious about the performance of a single asset like XRP, because if XRP takes longer than expected to get adoption and to see the liquidity flow in, let's say it takes by 2035. Let's just throw an example out there. 2035, are you going to sit there with all of your money, all the money from the bank that you have, all of your investing portfolio, in crypto, let alone XRP, and wait for that many years? That's stupid. It makes no sense. I get it. You might be thinking, why would I need anything else when XRP is the chosen one? Because you have a cognitive bias based on what you've read and watched online. Fair enough. You could be right. However, what if you're wrong? Okay? What if I'm wrong? What if XRP doesn't do what everyone's claiming that it'll do? What if it takes longer, though, to pass the all-time high? What if the Fed pivoting with the interest rates sends the markets spiraling down into the worst crash in history? What if that happens? What if that causes the crypto market to crash even worse than COVID? You see, you can't control what the Fed does. Those types of thoughts right there, you cannot control that. So sitting there pondering and thinking about all of the stressful things that could happen, right? You can't control that. And also sitting there and pondering and thinking about all the bullish things that could happen because of some price action and some, bridging of central banking digital currencies, you cannot control that. You can only control your expectations for if a crash happens or if a bull run takes place, emotionally and mentally, to protect yourself. And this is more important than anything, because social media is not good for mental health, right? If social media goes away, sure, we would be less connected in terms of speed of sending messages, but mental health would improve. What helped me mentally during the 2018 market crash was developing a healthy life balance, right? Rather than just sulking on my portfolio tanking during the bear market, what I did was I reconnected with other aspects of my life. I went to the gym more. I read more books. I focused on brand building. I got my head out of worrying about my portfolio, checking the price every single day, and freaking out. Oh no, the price just dropped another $1,000. The portfolio dropped another $10,000. I'd wake up days and I'd see my portfolio drop $20, $30, $40, $50,000 back then. And I was like, well, oh well, it'll come back. I literally don't care, right? But at the same time, I should have known when to sell because I was just holding. So that was one mistake that I made. But a good thing that I did was I controlled the gates of my mind. All right. I focused on what I could control, and I shifted that focus from what I couldn't control to where I could place my energy every single day, right? And for you, that's your mind, that's your body, that's your spirit, your family, and your business. So building a business. So if you're obsessively focused on XRP, it might be a sign that you have too much emotional investment into it. Put the money aside. Money comes, money goes, but your emotions are energy. That's why it's emotion, energy and motion, right? So when you put emotion into how you invest and you put your energy into that, you're spending something more valuable than money will ever give you. And so that's how you get tied to your investments. But if you put no emotion to it, you stay emotionless, and then you put your emotion into other aspects of your life, like your family, your faith, and your business, and you put energy into the things you can control, then whatever happens with your portfolio, will not phase you. You will be a stone wall. You'll be an immovable force and an unbreakable object. So double down on your business, double down on what you can control. And if you don't have a business, then all you gotta do is check out BULLRUNNERS.com. We're gonna be launching our financial education platform to help guide you guys in the right direction. You know, as always, none of what we say is financial advice. Always do your own research. Don't buy XRP, don't buy anything we talk about here on this channel because crypto is risky and it could all go to zero. So with that being said, what is my honest price prediction for XRP by the end of this year? So rather than just throwing out, a bunch of random numbers to get your hopes up or saying that I think XRP is going to $100, I'd rather give you data to show what's possible based on data from, the Fed. You have liquidity injections into the economy, the gross debt, market cycles based on Bitcoin, Fibonacci extensions, etc., right? All that good stuff. So let's start with the Fed. According to the Federal Reserve, in this illustration by the visual capitalist, in just over a year, the Federal Reserve of the United States rose the effective federal funds rate by nearly 5 percentage points. Now, what does that mean? Well, the rates have risen faster than any other time in recent history, meaning that there is a massive liquidity crunch right now. And so the effective federal funds rate is the rate that banks charge for overnight loans on how expensive it is to take out loans. Now, when it's more expensive to take out loans and interest rates are higher, that's obvious that it's going to place a crunch on the market because with higher interest rates, that makes it more expensive for businesses to borrow money and not have as much leverage trading in the markets. And then banks, they would throw loans at everyone during the bull run because it was so cheap to pay them back with low interest rates. And that helped pump the stock market, that helped pump the crypto market. And the overall market sentiment was massive bullish, right? Bullish. Everyone was greedy. Everyone was excited. Easing, quantitative easing. Now that the Fed paused, the next question is, when will they pivot to lower rates? How will that affect the market in the short term and the long term? Will a recession hit? Will there be a crash worse than 2008, 2000, or even the Great Depression of the 1930s? And how will that affect the crypto market? How will that affect XRP's price prediction? Because, that obviously would put a boot on XRP regardless of utility. So these are all great questions. Here's some good news and some bad news to consider. So I'll give you the bad news first, and I'll give you the good news because the good news drastically outweighs the bad news. But the bad news right now is what we have to go through. So the Fed is tightening their balance sheet. That's part of the bad news. They're offloading their bonds. And if the Fed is not adding more to their balance sheet and they're tightening, then the sentiment of big investors is also to tighten on their investing portfolios, which is to sell. The 10-year to 2-year Treasury yield curve is inverted, which is typically a sign that a recession could be coming when it goes into the positive. Usually it's around 13 months. We are potentially a few months away. And it's not when the yield curve goes inverted, it's not when the Fed starts raising rates that we go into a recession. It's when they pivot and they start lowering, and when the yield curve goes into the positive drastically, that a crash has taken place for 2008, 2000, so on and so forth. Now, also, when we talk about regulation, it's not clear yet. Until there's sound policy in place to give the institutions the green light to invest, that's why the crypto space right now is clinging on to the spot Bitcoin ETF from BlackRock, Fidelity, and all these big companies to be approved by the SEC. That's the main piece of good news, which is a good thing, but also it's not a good thing, because if that's the main thing that the industry is focused on right now, they need other good things to diversify the good news, not just one thing, an ETF launching, because if the SEC denies it, it takes longer than expected. There needs to be other good news. Now also the war in the Middle East, that's escalating. That makes people more fearful about the markets, because war, they say it's good for business, but it also breeds fear, and causes market crashes. And it's kind of like two kids on the playground that are fighting right now, and then the popular kids are kind of watching it, trying to help out. Once the popular kids start jumping in and start fighting, then all hell's breaking loose on the playground. That's China, Russia, United States, the powerhouse countries jumping in, going into World War III. And so that's the bad news, right? And it's important right now to stay close with God, stay close with your faith, regardless of these price predictions. The good news outweighs the bad news. And so the good news is that the Fed can't tighten forever. There's periods of quantitative tightening and there's periods of quantitative easing or money printing. So because the Fed's tightening, what happens after tightening, easing? What happens after winter, spring, then summer? The gross debt in the USA is projected to grow from 33 trillion to over 50 trillion. Now that's bad news for the US dollar and the spending power of the dollar, but that's good news for those of you that are diversifying into precious metals, into crypto. Maybe if you're investing in stocks, real estate, whatever you're investing in, comment it below. I'm curious on what you guys are bullish on. But if we're going to go from 33 trillion to over 50 trillion by 2030, my opinion is some of that has to flow into the crypto market, regardless of how much they send to Ukraine, regardless of how much is sent elsewhere. Some of that has to flow into the crypto market. Some of that has to flow into the stock market. And when the Fed pivots, it lowers interest rates. Even if that causes the market to crash, then that's the best time to buy. That's the best time to back up the truck, because you'll never see low prices like that again. Imagine if you had some dry powder on the side, the pandemic hit in 2020, and you scooped up that dip. Would you be very happy? Absolutely. Because you don't make money buying during greed. You don't make money buying during hope, optimism, euphoria. You don't make money there. That's where you lose money. So why would you be excited if the market's rallying and you're buying on the way up? Wouldn't you be excited thinking how the whales think, buying if the market's dip? What do the whales do? They buy low, they sell high. Success is not complicated. It is very, very simple. The complicated part is managing your expectations and your emotions. So crashes are where more millionaires and billionaires are born than in good times. And so good times, what happens here? Good times create weak men. Weak men create hard times. Hard times create strong men. And strong men create good times. And then the cycle continues, because good times then create weak men. Weak men are lazy because they're getting fat off the profits. They're sitting back, relaxing. They got money flowing in. The markets are good. Those weak men are going to create hard times because they're not preparing for a crash. Those hard times have to create strong men. That's where millionaires and billionaires emerge out of that. And that's where you're going to come. That's what's going to happen to you. You're going to be a millionaire. You're going to be a billionaire. I want you to confirm it right now by liking this video. Comment 777 below right now. So what happened? What's happening right now? Well, are we in good times? Are we in bad times? Well, we were in good times. Now, is Joe Biden, let me ask you this question. Is Joe Biden a strong or a weak man? Well, don't take my opinion for it. Just listen to this recent speech of his and decide for yourself.
If you don't have a game plan, he may have a game plan. He just hasn't shared it with me. But I tell you what, I don't know about you, but I'm going to go to bed. We talked about at the conference overall, we talked about stability. We talked about making sure that the third world, the southern hemisphere had access to change. It had access. It wasn't confrontational at all. You came with
Thank you, everybody. This ends the press conference. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
All right, so clearly, that wasn't the Martin Luther King Jr. speech from Sleepy Joe that everyone was expecting. So what are we going through right now? We're going through hard times. So thankfully, hard times will create strong men. We're going to make it out of this. But hard times are painful. They're stressful. They're tiring. I feel you. It's not fun. It's not easy to hold a project for years, hearing of all the amazing partnership news that Ripple is securing. Massive partnerships, right? Massive fundamental news, only to watch XRP do nothing. That's frustrating. I get that. I understand you. So I'm not just speaking out of my ass here. I've been through that. It's painful. So I'm going through this with you. We're in this together. So when we look, at Bitcoin's 4-year market cycle theory, based on the halving of markets, going through, well, XRP operates different than that. However, the tides do follow Bitcoin. The liquidity does follow Bitcoin nonetheless. And so what we're going through right now is the spring thawing phase, is what I would refer to it as. The spring thawing phase that comes right after winter. So we're not yet into the warm weather summer like it is over here in Miami, Florida, 24/7. That's why you got to move out here. Miami's amazing. But if you're getting out of winter, what happens, right? You go into spring, and spring isn't immediately the same temperature and getting warmer. There's rocky days where one day it might be 70 degrees, another day it might be 30 degrees, depending on where you live. I'm originally from Idaho, so, one day it would be sunny, and then it would rain, snow, sleet, hail, back to sun, all in the same day. And so that's what spring is like. That's what crypto's like. God has an interesting way of connecting different things to the markets, right? It's the 80-20 rule as well too. You read the book 80-20 rule. It'll give you a good perspective on how things operate, and also correlate things to physical seasons as well. So we still have some cold days ahead, but in my opinion, summer is right around the corner, and you didn't come this far just to come this far and complain, did you? Of course not, right? You're a full-grown adult. I don't have to lecture you here. I know I'm giving kind of a motivational speech. I want to get into my price prediction, but this is important because not enough people talk about, things like protecting your mental health, setting proper expectations for yourself, understanding and connecting the dots between seasons, on how the markets work. So what's going to happen? After fall comes winter, after winter comes spring, after spring comes summer, after summer comes fall, after fall comes winter, so on for the past 3,000 plus years of recorded history, and arguably even longer than that. So the markets are no different. When we look at the Fibonacci extension, a 1.618 would be roughly $6 for XRP. A 2.618 would be roughly $9 to $10, and a 3.618 up to a full extension, based on the all-time high, tracing all the way down to the March low for COVID, is between $13 to $16. So what's my price target for 2023? Well, I'm expecting XRP to potentially go down to 30 cents this year due to the bad news outweighing the negative right now, and the fact that we are going through this spring thawing phase right now. And so with World War III happening, we're in the midst of it right now. It just hasn't escalated to, China and the United States and Russia really going at it, and nuke talks and all that stuff actually happening, which makes people feel fearful. But when you're right with God and you talk with God every single day through prayer, then nothing can scare you through that, and you're not going to fall victim or prey to the media war and the propaganda that's being pushed out there to try and pin you. What they want to do is they want to pin you on the sides. They have Republican and Democrat. They want to pin you on either sides to get you to fight with each other, because when you're distracted and you're fighting each other, where are your eyes turned off from? What they're doing, what laws they are signing right now, what's happening behind the scenes, what the elite are doing, because you're too busy arguing with your uncle or your dad or your mom at dinner about Palestine and all the stuff happening there. Now, don't get me wrong, it's good to be emotionally in tune with what's happening, and I'm doing my best to understand every single day. So I'm not gonna, come on here and try and tell you guys what's happening there, because I know it's a lot of propaganda, right? And then we want to focus on crypto right now, because when you hear 30 cents, you're like, well, should I sell? What should I do right now? Should I get out of XRP? Should I put it into something else? Because the negativity right now is outweighing the positive, but the positive will drastically outweigh the negative, because Bitcoin's halving is in 2024. Regulation is coming with CBDCs. As much as people want to hate on that, that will mean good news for people in the crypto space, along with gross debt growing. I do expect something massive to take place later this year into 2024 to kickstart summer, which would benefit XRP due to the clarity that it has, due to that lawsuit. Every single other altcoin is on the chopping block right now, simply because there has been no clarity through the judicial system. Ripple and XRP have that clarity right now. The main thing holding it back is the boot of liquidity and everything that I just talked about. And nobody knows when that summer kickstart will happen. Nobody knows when that liquidity is going to flow in. And we could sit here all day and speculate on and line up chart patterns and say, based on the past, this is when it's supposed to happen. But the best thing, in my opinion, that I'm doing this year, I'm accumulating more, and I'm diversifying into projects I believe have solid fundamentals and a bright future while prices are still low. And if prices dip lower, I'm going to get excited. I'm going to back up the truck even more. Why would I sell my position in XRP right now, even if the price goes to 30 cents, if I don't know and I can't control what day they make a major announcement, like bridging global CBDC money with XRP? If they make that announcement, it happens one day, you don't know what day that's going to happen. It's going to happen probably in the middle of the night while you're sleeping. If that happens, it would be just a massive green candle that you can't prepare for, right? You can't prepare for that. The only way that you prepare is by holding and waiting. Patience pays long term. The money moves from the hands of the impatient to the patient in these markets, and you cannot time that. You just have to suffer through the pain like the rest of us until we break through spring into summer. So with that being said, my price prediction for 2025, though, is not based on a price target. It's based on price targets, multiple, that I plan to hedge some of my portfolio to avoid the trap of hopium that every single bull run breeds into traders. Because what happens here is when the markets rally up, people are like, oh, I'm going to wait for a little bit higher. I'm going to wait for a little bit higher. So it's going to go a little bit higher. A little bit higher comes, you're like, I'm going to wait for a little bit higher. And then a little correction comes, you're like, it'll bounce back. And then, yeah, it might go a little bit higher. You're like, I'm waiting for a little bit higher. And you just keep waiting. You just keep holding. You just keep holding forever. So my price targets, this is not what you should do. This is just, in my personal opinion, that's $6, $9, and $12. And then a moon bag for if XRP goes beyond $15, to just ride it to the complacency stage on the other side, the dead cat bounce, or these stable coin thousands of dollars per XRP price predictions that the XRP riddlers are talking about on Twitter, if that happens, right? So I'll still be holding some for that. And so I don't lose either way, right? So a lot of people are saying the price is already agreed upon by the IMF. Well, we will find out. You can't confirm or deny that right now. It's just based on speculation of somebody who knows somebody that works at a bank that's a higher up that's spreading this information. But until it actually happens, it's not true until it actually happens, right? So if that happens, then the moon bag will still be solid. And if it doesn't happen, so I'm preparing for both scenarios. If that doesn't happen, let's say the euphoria phase by the end of 2025 tops out at, let's say, $9 per XRP. Well, then I'm not holding my entire bag longer than I should, getting caught up in that sunk cost fallacy trap, thinking that it's going to keep going higher. Because now there's a downside to this, all right? So I want to talk about the downside too. And I know if you guys agree, like this video. If you disagree, leave a comment below. Let me know your thoughts. But there is a downside to this. The downside to this is the emotions you have to deal with of the coulda, shoulda, woulda thought process, right? For example, well, I could have held on longer. I could have caught the exact top because I sold it 60% of the way up, and I should have at least sold it 80% of the way up. Or I should have held everything and sold the exact top because I could have timed that better. But those thoughts are playing tricks on you. They're not real because you never know when the top is. You only know when the top is looking back. It's like the wake of the boat. You can't steer the boat with the wake. That's what people try and do, looking backwards and trying to line up the charts through technical analysis. It can give you an understanding, a better understanding of what could happen, but you will never time the top with 100% accuracy. I mean, you might sometimes, but you can't do it every time, right? Because the top probably come in while you're sleeping, probably come in while you're eating lunch. And if you don't have your limit sell orders placed, then, and you're just doing market buy and sell orders, and you're waiting to be online to sell your portfolio, part of your portfolio, then that's not smart either. Learn about those. Learn what limit buy, limit sell orders mean. Start doing a little more research on this. We'll educate you on this channel when you subscribe, and you let us know what other type of videos you would like to see below. Now, by 2030, my price prediction, I don't even have one because it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all right now. That's 7 years away. Why are we thinking about 2030? That's so far away when we need to get through 2024, 2025 first. So we'll get there when it comes. In terms of price prediction for 2030, that's anyone's guess, man. I mean, I could throw some random number out there and say $30, $50. We'll see where the economy is at that stage right now. And if we're not in some Great Depression, if we're passing all-time highs, or if the Great Depression comes after 2030, we'll see. So we'll get there when the time comes. So as always, don't buy XRP. Don't sell XRP. Do your own research, right? If you want to see a list of the top projects that I'm accumulating and diversifying into for this coming bull run, if you want to see that first, then all you need to do is go to bullrunners.com, subscribe to the video newsletter to be notified first when we release videos like this, and hit the subscribe button. If you appreciate the content, share it with a friend. As always, what we're doing is we're backing up our truck all the way to the bank. We're grabbing the bags, packing them, stacking them, leaving no bags left behind because we believe that the spending power of the dollar is going down in value. That's the truth. Based on inflation, what the Fed, Treasury's doing. Good old Janet Yellen. She'd be yelling to Congress about how they need more money because they're going to hit the debt ceiling. What does that mean? The spending power of the dollar is down. It's transitioning. It's shifting. And together, we're all going camping on the beaches of the moon because blockchain technology, distributed ledger technology is going up in interest. That's a fact. So I will see you on the next video. I will see you on bullrunners.com. As always, you know what to do. Stay bullish.